I have a major life update to tell you guys about today, and this is likely the last time you'll see me recording in this home office studio because as of the middle of next month, I am going to be a full-time digital nomad. So I'm going to give you guys the details about how that happened, how I'm feeling about that process of making the move from having a home base to not having a home base, and how long that is going to be the case. So stay tuned for more information. If you're new here, my name is Kristen, and I am a bit of an unconventional digital nomad because I've had a home base here in the state of Tennessee since about 2018, 2019, and I typically travel about 3 months out of the year internationally and do a lot of domestic trips too. So I work fully remotely. I run my own CPA firm, a small boutique firm, and we have about 50 small business clients. So it's awesome because I can take my job with me wherever I go. And my husband, Tom, he also works remotely too, so he can do the same. So this brings me to our life update. We have always prided ourselves on being able to maintain this home base and balance the travel with life in our community here in Tennessee. But now we are actually going to be fully digital nomad. We are not going to have a home base for the foreseeable next, let's call it 18 months. And the reason why is because of a bit of a series of unfortunate events that we have decided to make lemonade out of lemons about. Long story short, we put an offer in on a house here in Tennessee about a month ago. This was July 1st of 2024, and we were really excited about the house. It was a very low-cost house that was in our same neighborhood, and our vision behind this house was it would be our Tennessee cottage that we would use as our permanent home base while we did even more travel. Because it was so affordable and we potentially also had the option to rent it out if we wanted to, it seemed to be the perfect situation. The house was really small. It was only about 900 square feet. So our vision was that if we wanted this to be our forever home, quote unquote, we would need to probably build an extension on it in the future to give us a bit more space. But for right now, it seemed perfect. So we got through the whole due diligence process and we were a day from close. So it was Friday and we were going to close on Monday. So like one business day from close. And unfortunately, the deal fell through due to something that was discovered about the house at the last minute, and the sellers weren't really willing to negotiate anymore. So we decided to walk, which was unfortunate, but we thought, okay, no problem. We can just continue to stay in our current apartment with our current lease. And it's a month-to-month lease that we were on here. So we let our landlord know we would be staying, and unfortunately, he had already rented out the unit that we're in. So he has asked us to continue to move out at our current date, which was the 15th of this month. So essentially next week. So next week we have to be completely out of our home base. And we were then left with the decision of, okay, do we enter into another lease agreement? Or do we just use this time to do more travel and nomadism and really try that out again? Because the last time we were full-time digital nomads was in 2018. So we did almost a full year as nomads traveling, and during that point in time, we were traveling a bit quicker. We did a couple of 1-month stays, but mostly we were staying in places a week or two. And it was a bunch of fun, but it didn't really seem super sustainable, and I definitely don't think it would be sustainable now because we have jobs that are a bit more intense and require more of our time and energy. We decided that we did want to try the nomad thing again, and we want to do it a little bit differently this time. We want to stay everywhere we go for a minimum of 1 month, and that'll give us time to settle in, get a co-working space, get a routine, and make sure that we're not letting our day-to-day duties with our current jobs slide. So that is our plan. And another big driver of this plan is I'm working on getting my Italian citizenship. And so as part of this process, we will be moving over to Italy for about 6 months to put in my application. And I want to make more videos and content about that whole process, how I found out I qualified, and how that has gone so far. So stay tuned for more content on that. But all that to say, because of the time frame of when we're going to have to go to Italy, we wouldn't be able to sign a 1-year lease, which is customary here. So we would be looking for about a 6-month lease anyway, which is harder to find and more expensive. So again, that kind of pointed us in the direction of being fully nomadic. So we made the decision about a week or two ago to become fully nomadic after this deal fell through. And we're going to do it. We're making lemonade out of lemons, and we are putting our stuff in a storage unit. The unit costs about $115 a month. And we are storing one car with my parents and one car with friends, and we are going to just be wild and free and do the travel thing. Our first stop is going to be Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and we have a 1-month Airbnb there in an awesome building that has rooftop pools and a built-in co-working space and a gym. So our vision for this first month of nomadism was just to make it really easy for ourselves. We've gone through a lot of big life stuff recently, and we're both feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So by, choosing a destination that we already know and love, which is the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, that we know will be close to the beach and have kind of a cushy living situation, we're really kind of making this first month easier for ourselves and easing into it. And then from there, after the first month, we don't have many specific plans, but we have some ideas in our head. So likely we're going to be splitting our time between being back in Tennessee and Argentina again, and Spain, and some of the other destinations that we love, as well as seeing new places. I've always wanted to go to the European Christmas market, so I definitely think that's something that we're going to pencil in this year now that we have the opportunity to do so. So there's a lot of really exciting things that this brings with it amongst all of the stresses. I wanted to just give you guys this life update. Thank you guys for being here, and I'm super excited about the content that I'll create while I am living this nomadic lifestyle. I think that I want to try new formats of videos to give you guys a little bit of variety, and I definitely want to continue to talk about the dollars and cents behind all of this. So yeah, now let's get into the costs and the potential cost savings that we're going to get by being full-time digital nomads. So with the changing of our lifestyle comes some changing of our day-to-day costs. I've always been really transparent on this channel about my own personal finances, and that is all going to continue as we go into this next iteration of what life looks like for me and my husband. First and foremost, we are no longer going to be paying our fixed rent here in Tennessee, which was $1,700 per month. So that is a cost that we're completely cutting, which feels great, as well as utilities and Wi-Fi, which utilities was on average about $250 a month, and then Wi-Fi was about $60 per month. So both of those cut as well. And in terms of new costs, we will be spending money on a storage unit. Like I said, it's about $115 per month. We also are using a service called Anytime Mailbox to do a virtual kind of mailbox situation where they collect our mail for us and they'll scan and upload it for us to review. And they can also at any point in time ship us the mail if there is something physical that we need. And that is $14.99 per month. There are upcharges after a certain number of scans and ships, but I don't think we'll be needing many of those. So those are the new additional costs. We will also be able to cut our car insurance bill down by a bit because we're not going to be driving our cars. So I'm not exactly sure what that looks like in dollars and cents. And then everything else in terms of daily living expenses, we're just shifting from Tennessee to our new place that we're living. So we will be obviously probably spending about the same that we were on things like food and entertainment and all of those other kind of variable expenses. And I don't foresee myself doing a lot of shopping or and the other great thing is because we were expecting to buy a house, we had expected to buy a lot of furniture and spend some money on repairs that we're not going to be spending anymore. So I estimate that it will be a bit cheaper to be a digital nomad than to live full-time here and have our home base, which is great. And in terms of what we're expecting to spend per month on Airbnbs, our budget is $1,500 to $2,000, which means that we're probably going to be looking for kind of middle of the road Airbnbs. We like to get an Airbnb that has comfortable workspaces for us. And so usually we do end up looking for 2-bedroom Airbnbs just so we can kind of set up a second office space in the Airbnb. And so yeah, $1,500 to $2,000 seems to be an appropriate budget for that. And that does limit us a bit in terms of renting Airbnbs in the US because it is a bit more expensive here. But internationally, that price point is really easy to stick to. So the months that we do come back and do an Airbnb in the US, we'll likely look for a cheap following month abroad to kind of offset that cost. So I'll keep you guys updated as this all plays out with how much this actually costs and the difference. But yeah, the crazy thing is, I think we're going to save money being full-time digital nomads versus having our home base here, even in our low cost of living city. So I hope this video update gave you inspiration potentially if you're making a big life decision where you have to also make lemonade out of lemons. I hope that you are feeling encouraged. I've gone through all of the emotions and feelings and anxieties to get here, but I'm really excited about what's next for us. So stay tuned. There may be a bit of a lapse between this video and my next upload, but hopefully that next video will be me live from Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So we'll see you guys then. Thanks.